Out into its own. Hello, everybody. It's JJ Conway. I'm super excited to have you all here today for Fireside Chat. Oh, I'm super excited about what we're going to talk about today. I don't have as many questions in the queue. I think summertime is just a rough time to have a lot of things in the queue because people are traveling just like I was for so long. So it's kind of hit or miss, but I still have some great questions for you today. And before we get into it, I want to talk about something that transcends money. So you see my little title down there. I'm actually, you know what? Normally I have a t-shirt on. I try to do a little contest or something about it. Oops, hold on. Let me push the let's go on the Clubhouse. Okay. So, normally I try to do a little contest or something, but today I really wanted to talk to you about something that's more important than money. And it kind of stemmed from this that my son gave me. My 5-year-old gave me. He wrote this at summer camp today. And he was very proud of his writing, and then he made sure to show me that he added the hearts, right? And we did a lot of summer travel this year, and it's my first year retired from the Air Force. So it was the first summer that I had to really be able to just go out and do things like spend time with the family. And when I was talking to somebody else about the fact that I kind of dropped off a lot of my business not commitments, because I always uphold my commitments, but like I didn't take on more things. Okay. I didn't add new things to my list. I didn't volunteer. And I was going to volunteer with the chamber. That's what it was. I was talking at the chamber, and I explained that, I was going to volunteer, but then I realized I had all these different family things coming and going, and I wanted to make myself available for that. And for the first time in my life, I didn't have a job to have to go to. I had a business that I worked when I felt like it, when I wanted to, and when it was a win-win-win for me, my family, and the client. And for me, the flexibility and the financial foundation to be able to do that is worth more than any cash money in the bank. And so it's not just about money. When we're building wealth, we want to understand that abundance isn't just money. There's so many different forms of abundance. We've got the physical abundance of our bodies, which, let me tell you, Pikes Peak and all these other places that we went to a lot of very physical places. Like, I'm fairly fit. I know I'm built like a linebacker. I've always been a kind of a heavy girl, but I've always been very fit. And I got to run for my money on this trip, because we did a lot of very physical things. But to me, it's a joy to be able to do those things, and then just having the finances. But we have physical abundance. We have the money, the financial abundance. But we have spiritual abundance. That keeps us grounded. And then you have your abundance of your relationships. And I know, as an entrepreneur, and I remember having this problem when I was in the Air Force as well, because I was always very career driven for a lot of reasons. I was driven to prove I could do it. I mean, when you start your career being told you can't do your career because you're Black, like, you have every motivation to prove whoever said that wrong. And I don't even remember that guy's name. That's the worst part about it. That advisor, I don't even remember his name. But I do remember what he said, and I remember trying to say, I'm going to show him. And I did everything that I set out to do. But sometimes when we're doing everything that we set out to do, we're not taking care of the things that we say are important. So I'm going to get to some money questions soon. If you have some questions, you can either drop them into the chat, or you can put them into the Ask JJ form. JJC. Oh, I should probably put that up for you. Ask JJC. No. I haven't established that one yet. I bought the domain, but I haven't set it up yet. It's jjclink.com/askjj. Here we go. Let me put that up for you. All right. If you're on Clubhouse, you're not going to be able to see that, but it's jjclink.com/askjj. Okay. So, well, you know what? I forgot, I've moved to a very conservative area of Texas, and I lost like half of my Facebook viewers when I started talking about being told Blacks can't do physics. I'm not really sure what to make of that yet. I'm hopeful that everybody just had connectivity issues, but I assure you, we're talking about money, not racial issues today. But what I wanted to start off with talking again is the fact that we cannot get these times back. When we have these issues with our family because we're building that empire and we're telling ourselves that it's worth it, one day we're going to get there. When we make those decisions, we could be starving our children of the attention and the nurturing that they need, and not even realizing what we're doing to their long-term career, a long-term future. And all of those limiting beliefs that we have to get over, some of those were put upon us by parents who were taught the same things I was taught in the military. Oh, your kids are resilient, they'll be fine. Your kids are resilient, they'll recover. All the traveling actually makes your child a better world citizen. Do I believe that some of that can be true? Sure. Because I believe that growing up overseas made me a better world citizen, right? But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think growing up as a kid whose parents never played with them or rarely played with them, I don't think that made me better. I don't think going to 4 different high schools, or one was actually junior high for ninth grade, I don't think going to 4 different schools for ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade made me a better person. I don't think that. I'm sorry. I just don't think that. I don't believe that. And I think it's important to understand who you are. My kid is on his 8th school, and I don't ever want another child to do that. But if I had to put him in that position, then I'm going to take every effort I can. It's really a big part of the reason why I retired from the military. And if you're just joining us on Clubhouse or online, we're going to answer some money questions. But I really felt like this is on my heart because some people out there are really trying to build this empire, and you're really trying to make it in your career. You're really trying to build up your business. You're really trying to do all these things, and you're telling yourself it's going to be better for your family later on, because later on you're going to have the money, and later on you're going to have the resources, and later on it's going to all be worth it. But it's not going to be worth it if you mess your kids up for life. And only you and your children know where that line is. But I know I was fed a line that made me feel better about going to work every day and sending my child to daycare for 12 hours a day. Okay. And now that I've been home with them for the last year, my 15-year-old, who's almost 16 now, I see the difference. I see the difference. Am I saying quit your job? That is not what I'm saying. Okay. But I'm saying I see the difference. And I think it's up to each of us to determine where that line is and what our children need. Me personally, I probably didn't need more parents being around me if they weren't going to play with me and do things with me that are fun, or if they didn't want to do the things I like to do. I probably didn't need more of that in my life, right? But I can look back and say, okay, a lot of the hangups I had were because my parents were dealing with their own hangups and their own insecurities and passed that on to us. Okay. So I want to encourage you as we talk about building wealth and making your money and writing your books and starting your business and all those multiple streams of income. I want to encourage you to remember what's the most important thing. For me, one of the most important things ever is that I get notes like this from my 5-year-old. And that ever since we came back from the family trip, I'd say about 3-4 nights out of a week, I get a hug and a kiss goodnight from the teenager, which that never used to happen before I retired from the Air Force. So you got to choose what's important to you and incorporate those things that are important to you in your wealth building. We build our wealth around our family, not to spite them. Okay. All right, so now my soapbox being over for tonight. Wait, what am I talking about? This is Fireside Chat. This is like an hour and a half of me on a soapbox, right? No, I promise I'm learning to keep my answers shorter because I really do want to be on the radio. And what I was what I was asked to do was get all of my responses down to 1 minute. Like, oh wow, okay. So if you've got a question, go ahead and drop it into the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to pull up the spreadsheet of the Ask JJs that have come in. And like I said before, I didn't have as many this time as I normally do. I think summer's just kind of a low read on that. People are traveling and stuff. But I did have a couple that I thought were really fantastic. Okay, and so. Okay, I see some here. Okay, great. Okay, the very first question that we have tonight is about publishing books. copywriting and self-publishing. Okay. And I love that because we just did a big push with the Finally Write That Book class. So we have the Finally Write That Book class, and we have a lot of people that are joining us just from that. Hey, I'm so glad you're on today. I'm going to get to your question here. Yours is third up in line. All right. So we have a lot of people who have joined Building Wealth Together specifically to figure out how to finally write that book. If you've been wanting to write a book, let me do a shameless self-plug. If you've been wanting to learn how to write a book, go get you that class. It is only $49. And I actually show you screenshots of clicking through. And then we haven't scheduled it yet. I'm waiting for the football schedule. But once, actually, we got it an hour ago, but I'm waiting to go through it. Once I plug all that in the calendar, we're going to schedule a workshop for Finally Write That Book. So you want to be in that class before we do that. Okay. When it comes to writing a book, there's a couple different ways to do it. The very first thing I'm going to tell you about writing a book, and I got to remember, StreamYard changed their algorithm, so I need to look here instead of up at the screen, up at the thing. If you want to write a book, okay, if you want a publisher to publish your book, you are not going to want to just do what I try to do. I'm on my 14th book now, right? You're not going to want to do what I did, which is write a book and then try to send it in. Okay. You're going to want to learn from somebody who has actually published a book through a traditional publisher. And you are going to want to follow the guidelines for putting together a book proposal. You're going to want to go to some of the book fairs, not book fairs, publisher fairs. They have these writers conventions where you've got the publishers and you've got everybody you need to get that book project through, including big names that I mean, it's kind of a pay to play thing, but I think almost anything in business really is, right? Where you can get those folks to mentor you and write the foreword to your book. Okay. If that's the route you want to go and you want to make serious money with it, you're going to want to go the route of somebody. I am not that somebody. I put together a class on how I published my books. I put together a class on some of the mistakes that I made, but all of my books have been self-published. And then I've been in a part of a lot of people's anthologies, but I am still working with my Blacks Can Do Physics book. That's the first book I've done with a publisher, and I'm not experienced enough in the process to be able to tell you what to do. But the people that I'm learning from are. So you know what I'm going to do real quick. See, I don't think they have their names their names are Greg and Julie Gorman, and they have a website and a book, a whole course called Married for a Purpose. But I don't think their how to publish a book course is actually on there. So reach out to me. I'll connect you, and then you can learn from them. Okay. But you're going to want some structure. You're not going to want to just put it together. The other thing I will say about publishing a book before I walk through the actual steps of publishing a book, the other thing I will say about publishing a book is another mistake I made is I thought, maybe some of you are like me today, I thought that publishing the book was the hard part. Writing it was the hard part. Pouring my heart and soul onto those pages was the hard part. Figuring out the right word to go in this space in the sentence, in that place, and to give the right meaning and the right connotation and the right denotation. Like I thought that was the hard part. That was the hard part. And once I did all of that, I was going to put the book out into the universe and I was going to make all kinds of money. Well, guess what? That is not how book publishing works. I remember when I launched Overcome Inertia, I sold $3,000 worth of those books that first month. A bulk of that came from my church convention. I think my mom probably bought like 3 or 4 of them and gave everybody one for Christmas, right? Gave my siblings one for Christmas. I imagine I had 1 or 2 other people who knew me. But after that initial push, yeah, I think I've sold maybe 4 of those since. And then I decided to just give it away. because the cover was horrible. It still is. The cover is horrible. There was no pull. The title's not even the best. Like I learned so much since then about writing a book. It was like, okay, we're not even going to try to redo this right now. We're going to move on with other projects. Okay. So I wanted to qualify all that. And when it comes to really writing a book, there's a couple different ways that you can do it. If you want to self-publish, there are a variety of ways to self-publish, such as going through Lulu, other self-published have sprung up like Lulu. I haven't used them, but they're like that. Create Space has merged with Kindle, so you can actually go into Amazon, into their what do they call it? Kindle Direct, KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing. You can go into the Kindle space on Amazon and both create your Kindle book and your print book. And the cool thing is, if you upload one, it'll ask you, do you want to create the other from it? So it's like a 2-for-1 Benny, right? I always upload a separate Kindle version and a separate PDF version. I mean, a separate print version, because the layouts are slightly different, but you can do that yourself. And it doesn't cost you anything to publish with either one of those resources. Okay. So when might you want to pay for somebody to help you do that, to help you publish a book, if you could self-publish for free? Well, there's a couple times you might want to do that. You might want to have somebody pay. You might want to pay for somebody to help you with editing. And I have paid editors because I go on rabbit trails. And apparently, according to my editors, I use the words but and all the time. Also, according to one of my latest editors who edited the 40 Dates book, I throw a lot of things at the reader that I didn't set up in the beginning, and it can throw off your reader. So I highly recommend you get somebody to edit for your spelling and your content, and somebody to edit for your storyline. Like, I had no idea how important that was until I did the 40 Dates book. Okay. So you wouldn't want to pay for somebody to do the editing unless you got a friend who can give you the hookup. But I shouldn't have said that, because I started my business on the hookups. Okay. And a lot of us do the bartering, the hookups. You help me here, I help you there. You edit this for me, I speak at your conference for no charge, right? Like, I help, what do they call it? Quid pro quo, blah, whatever. So I get that we start our business with that a lot, but a lot of times we don't want to be those people that suck the life out of our business owning friends and never want to pay them. Okay. So that's not what I'm suggesting. But when you're just getting started, there are ways for you to find somebody who can help you that may not be as good or as fast as the big name, but are still going to be quality work. Okay. Another thing you might want to hire somebody to do is to manage the project if you feel like that is not your thing. Personally, I am a project manager. And so for me to manage the project, from putting it together, putting it into Lulu or KDP, and walking through getting my ISBN and getting all those different things, like, that's not a problem for me. But let me tell you what was a problem for me: designing my own cover. And part of the problem of designing my own cover is I thought I was already good at it. Well, sometimes when it comes to money, we have to learn how to be honest about the things we are good at and the things we are not good at, right? And so I will pay somebody to design me a good cover, especially after spending 3 or 4 weeks round robining it with Kindle, trying to get that cover exactly right. Okay. They have different specifications based on how many pages are in there, and you want to get it done. And sometimes it's better to just pay somebody who can get it done right the first time, instead of you taking 3 weeks over and over and over, calling yourself being frugal and saving God's money. Sometimes it's important to save the time of God's people, which can translate into more of God's money when you make more money and you pay bigger tithes and offerings. All right. So we just want to acknowledge that. And then, there's things that you can do. Again, telling on myself. There are things that there's somebody you might want to hire, a copywriter, to help write not only the back matter and the or the inside jacket if you're doing a hardcover. Like I thought, this is what I thought. Oh, I'm going to put my picture on there and I'm going to talk about all my accomplishments, and people were going to look at that and be like, "Ooh, yes, I want to read that book." That is not how it works. That back cover has got to catch their attention and excite them about what they are going to get out of the book. All right. And so I'm telling you all the stuff. Don't do the stuff that I did. If you want all the mistakes that I've made, you can get that Finally Write Your Book class. Because I add to it. Like, I think I'm going to add this little bit to it too, because it's kind of a condensed, updated version. But yeah, you can totally write a book. So you can go into Lulu, you can go into Kindle, and you can upload your manuscript, and they'll walk you through the process. And they have a lot of checks and balances, especially Kindle. Not so much Lulu, but especially Kindle is more is faster, okay, to give you the feedback, okay. So it's still, none of them are instantaneous, right? Like, they'll, some things will be instantaneous, but the other ones will come back later, and you'll get an email that lets you know whether this is suitable for worldwide distribution or whether it's not. And you want it to be suitable for worldwide distribution, because if it's not, and if you go a different route where you're not requiring that, your stuff could come back looking funky, and it could definitely look homegrown, which is going to lessen your credibility. Never mind the fact that most people who buy books aren't even reading them. Okay, so we're just going to ignore that for a second, right? But now you might be saying, well, JJ, I want to write a book. I've got a message inside me, but sitting down and typing at the computer is like stabbing my eye with a pencil. And so if you feel like you have a book that you want to write, but that is not something that you're interested in, there are some fantastic options. And I kept saying I was going to bring mine online, but then I failed a class. I failed a doctoral class last year, so we're not doing anything new until after I am officially Dr. JJ Conway, right? Like, we are getting that research done before I launch anything new, right? Everything that I'm doing is the stuff I've been doing. But one of the initiatives that I had was I was going to follow on the Finally Write That Book class with a publishing system that would help people write their books. So if you're not in the space where you really can sit down and type, or that's just not your jam, or maybe you had medical issues. When I had that car accident for a while, I could barely look at a screen. I could barely type. I couldn't get the words or anything straight. My verbal came back before my cognitive and motor control. Now, I didn't want to say it that way because I don't want you to think that I was like a vegetable, but it just wasn't working right. I'll just say it that way. It wasn't working right. And I didn't even realize it wasn't working right. All my coworkers knew I wasn't working right. They knew my mind was messed up, but I didn't know it. But after a while, I had to finally admit, okay? So if you're in a situation where that's just like not your jam, you can actually speak. You can speak your chapters. You can record them on your phone. You can record it into otter.ai. Man, I should have built an affiliate link in case you go there and then you decide to upgrade. I could have made me a few dollars. But you can go into use these tools that will translate what you say. If you have an upgraded account of Zoom, you can video yourself talking with a friend. You can Zoom to a friend. Tell your friend the chapter. Have Zoom record it. Zoom, depending on your package, Zoom will automatically transcribe that for you. Now, will it be a perfect transcription? No. As the people who are in my Healing My Sisters conference, they find out every year, if you edit your transcript, you do not have to pay to be in the anthology. But if you want me to edit your transcript, then there's going to be a cost to that, because I'm going to pay somebody else to do it. And there takes work, because Zoom is not a one-to-one translation. Okay. And even Otter is not a one, but it's a starting place. And it's easier to have somebody help you edit, or it's easier for you to go back and edit than it is to just type all that in the first place. And sometimes we know we have something to share, but we don't know how to get it out. But when we start talking, we get so passionate and we just get all into it and the fire comes out. Okay. So I want to encourage you, if you want to write a book, but it's just not, this is too tedious for you, type it on the computer, then try speaking a word. It's like speaking a word over somebody's life. Oh my goodness. This is fun. Okay. So that's another category. All right. Let's see. We did traditional publishing. We talked about self-publishing. We talked about a way to speak your book and then use that transcription to make the actual written book. Another option we want to talk about is anthologies. So back in the day, anthologies were like called compilations, and now they're anthologies, which I guess sounds more elevated, more grown, I guess, than compilations, but it's all the same thing. One person is the head author, they're the editor, and everybody else contributes a chapter. And so I've done several anthologies. And even though I've published many books cover to cover, I still do anthologies because they're fun and they expose me to new audiences. And I kind of have most of my chapters already written. Now my friend Elizabeth Clement, Elizabeth, she was like 3,000 pages. I was like, I mean, 3,000 words. I was like, whoa, I haven't seen one like that in a while. I actually had to dust off my usual. I have a 500 word chapter. I have a 1,000 word chapter. I got a 1,500 word chapter. Like I got them all ready to go. I had to do some work for hers. She wanted 3,000 pages. I said, oh, she's not playing. This is going to be a real book, y'all. That's the Fiercely Unstoppable Entrepreneur that came out a week or two ago. And I'll tell you, you get involved in these projects, and as you get to know each other as authors, and several of the authors are speaking at my events, and I'm sure I'll be speaking at theirs. And I mean, it's just a lot of fun to be part of an anthology. And the cool thing about being part of an anthology is if you're not an experienced writer, it gives you a taste of the process. So don't shy away from that. All right. I publish every year. I try to publish Healing My Sisters, which is an anthology, which again, I did not put my marketing hat on before I started this today, because if I had put my marketing hat on, I would have had my affiliate link to Otter so that y'all could click it, go to Otter and upgrade and give me $1 or $2 for recommending you. I would have had my link to Healing My Sisters. I think it's healingmysistersbook.com, but I would have had my link programmed in here to Healing My Sisters so you could be part of our next conference and anthology, right? And there's no charge. There's no charge to be part of the anthology if you do all your own editing. There's several that go on over and over. And so I do those two. And then the third one that I want to do, haven't launched it yet because our Valentine's Day got preempted. Our singles Valentine's Day got preempted by COVID. But I did the 40 dates in 4 months book, and I want to do another 40 dates, but I want to tell other people's dating stories. So anyway, we're not going to worry about that right now, but you can find all kinds of anthologies out there. And eventually I'll have the platform that allows you to get the editors and find which type of anthology you want to be in, or have somebody like me to be your Zoom buddy so you can tell your story and we can transcribe it. But that would be long after I finish this coursework. Finish my research and defend my dissertation. And so you'll probably find somebody sooner than that. And if you don't, I will be here to help you. Okay. Fantastic question. Way longer than 1 minute. But that was like a 20-part answer though. Okay. All right. So the next one, let me go back to this here. The next one, where did it go? The next one. Oops, wrong spreadsheet. That's why. Okay, the next one is huge amounts of debt for a family of 5, 35,000 credit card, 200,000 student loans, have 100,000 in a 401k. They got a paid off older minivan. Primary income is 95,000. Spouse stays at home taking care of youngest child and after school care. Okay. They're getting ready to move. That's going to incur some extra costs. I feel like I answered this one before. Huh. Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and answer it again, because I know it feels like a lot. That's $235,000. But if you stop and think about it, this family makes $95,000. And so it feels like a lot. It is a lot. I don't know what you got your degree in, and I sure hope it was worth it. I so hope it was worth it. And if I can just do a little quick mini rant, okay? Not rant, help. If I can just do a little quick mini help, if you're going to pursue a degree and take loans, which I really don't recommend you taking loans, if you are going to do something like that, make sure the juice is worth the squeeze. Because I remember one of my very first financial clients in Louisiana was somebody who taught, and they spent $90,000 to get their master's degree, but it only increased their pay like $3,000 or $4,000 a year. And I was like, I didn't know what to say. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but my face, y'all. My face sometimes speaks volumes, and I'm trying to be polite, and you would think I would, after 23 years in the military, I would have better bearing than that. But when it comes to some decisions, I'm just like, what? So make sure that the juice is worth the squeeze. Okay. And I don't know that for this family. But one thing I do see is that they don't have car debt. Their debt is student loans and the 35,000 on the credit card, unless they bought a car with the credit card. And they do have 100,000 in their 401k, which a lot of people in this kind of situation have a very hard time with, And so I want to applaud these folks. First of all, I want to applaud you for being where you are. Now let's see how we can take you up to the next level, okay? So I'm looking at where they're going, and I see how they're moving, and that with that move, you might think that they're moving to a cheaper area. But one thing I discovered, what I discovered when I moved from Virginia, from Fairfax County, which one is one of the most expensive places in the area to live, right, to Shreveport, Louisiana. Let me tell you what I discovered. First of all, my house was about the same cost. Now, it was a house instead of a townhome, but it was a lot smaller. I mean, square footage was smaller. The plot was bigger, and it was its own house. But my townhomes, when I lived in Virginia, because you have all those layers, they actually had more livable square footage. So I was a little disappointed. Like, I would have wanted more space, right, for the money. The other thing I discovered when I moved from the DC area to Shreveport, Louisiana, was that the food cost was sky high. And I wasn't eating cheap in Maryland, y'all. I mean, in Virginia. Well, I wasn't eating cheap when I lived in Maryland either. But I was driving to Virginia to get my stuff from the Amish farmer from Pennsylvania. I probably shouldn't say that. Rewind. I can't take back what's on life. Anyway, I was getting some very high quality produce and very high quality food fresh from the farm, and that stuff was not cheap, y'all. No, stuff was not cheap, but it was so good for my body. It was the healthiest I'd ever been, and I actually ate more saturated fat and dairy then than I do now, but I was healthier, and I really do believe it was because the food was straight from the farm. But when I moved to Shreveport, I just knew that being out there with all the agriculture and right next to Texas with all the beef, my food costs were going to go down. No, they didn't. They went up. And then I moved to Texas. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to move to Texas. And this is the land. I mean, this is the land of beef. Where I live is the rodeo capital of the world. It's the dairy county of the world. All the beef stuff is here. Why my grocery order double? I mean, I know COVID. COVID hit a lot of us. They raised all the prices. And even when things started opening back up, seemed like they didn't drop the prices back, right? So I want to encourage you. Don't think just because you're moving to a cheaper area that means your expenses are going to be cheaper, because I moved to a very cheaper area, but my expenses have gone up. Praise the Lord that I have the ability to take care of it. Okay. And that I have a husband who takes care of a lot. Okay. Oh, sorry. That was referring back to an earlier conversation. I loved my time being single. I really did, but I love my time being married this time. This time. Okay. So let's just not include the move. Let's just say that some things will be cheaper in the new place than they are in the old place. But let's just say you got $95,000, you got $235,000 of debt. If you, even with your spouse staying at home, which I have come to believe is really the best for the kids, if you can do it, right? Even with the spouse staying at home, there are ways to take that $95,000 income and attack this debt. That credit card should be gone by the end of next year, because you can live off of $50,000 where you're moving to. I know that for a fact. You can do that. That should be gone. And so, and you can still have, and then the next year you may save up and get another car, because if you're driving an older minivan, you're probably going to need another car soon, right? And then you can start attacking these student loans with everything in you, and you can have them knocked out in about 4 or 5 years. And that's not even having your spouse take another job. That's not even you taking another job. Like, these are things that I would do. Like if this was me, I would try to have the spouse do some extra work from home, still taking care of the child, still making the child a priority. But there are things that you can do from home. Okay. I would be picking up extra jobs, and I'm not I'm not. Dave Ramsey says this all the time. Like, just go get a job delivering pizza. I'm not delivering pizza. Okay. I'm not doing DoorDash. I'm not doing Lyft, and I'm not doing Uber. And it's not because I'm bougie. It's because I want to be safe. Okay. And I've already had enough bad things happen to me. I am not trying to invite any more trouble. But a lot of people make good money doing those things. Okay. Me, I'm probably getting another job. I'm probably starting another stream of income. I'm probably doing something like that. Everybody's got what works for their personality. Okay. And so you find something that works for your personality. But even if you didn't do those things, this mess is cleaned up in 6 years. And you keep on going, and in another 3 or 4 years, you got a house paid for. This is not as big. Okay. I know somebody's listening to me like, well, why do you keep saying this isn't that big? This isn't that big. This isn't that big. $235,000 of debt, which 200 of that is student loans and 3,500 of that is credit cards. That is big. That is big. Yes, it is big. But these people make 95,000 a year, and they're moving to an area where 95,000 goes a long way. Okay. Now you live in San Francisco. 95,000 is like what? Just above the poverty line? I don't know. Right. But they're moving to an area where 95,000 goes a long way. And so I keep saying that it's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard. You can absolutely do this because we get stuff stuck in our heads. We get it stuck in our heads that it's too much and we can't do this. And then we don't even try. But if you just tightened, I know just is a 4-letter word, right? But if you tightened down and you got down to 50,000, that's actually, I did my math in public wrong. That's $45,000 a year. You have now freed up to attack the debt. So your credit card debt is wiped out in a year, and to attack the student loans. So they're wiped out in another 5 years. Okay. So I don't want you to look at your problems and think, oh, this is way too much. I'm never say never. There's always a way. There's always a way. It may not be pretty and it may not be fast. It took me 12 years to climb out of the hole I was in so that I could become a full-time mom, to go from being $845,000 in debt to being a full-time mom and entrepreneur. That took me 12 years. Now, I will admit the first 3 years I was hard-headed. I paid off all the consumer credit card debt that my ex had run up, but I didn't bother to touch the other stuff because I felt like it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my responsibility. Well, you know what? It affected my future. Had I been more aggressive, I probably wouldn't have took me as long. But when you don't pay stuff, it grows. You don't pay it, it grows. It's called interest. That's how those credit card companies make their money. Okay. Good question. Let me check in here. Okay. Oh, I love this one. What is the number one way to make money in your sleep? Okay. The number one way to make money in your sleep is going to depend on what you're good at, because everybody has a different talent. Okay. For me, I make money in my sleep because I have these classes out there, and I wake up in the morning and people have bought the classes. I also have books out there, and I wake up in the morning and people have bought the books. Now, I will say the classes are a lot more profitable for me than the books, but for some other people, they're better writers. They have better marketing contacts, and books do better for them. The thing in order to make money while you sleep is to figure out what works for you. People who have investments, they're making money in their sleep. You have investments in the stock market or any other thing like that. If it's going up and down, which is what happens, a trend line is that the market tends to always go up over a 5 to 10 to 20 year period, right? You can do those calculations and you can see that the market trends upward. So even though it's not money in your hand, like my courses and books, when I get paid the royalties, or when I open up my account and see that people have bought a class, it's still money while you sleep. Okay. And so the thing is, though, not everybody has that as something they want to do. And one of the things that I like to do when I work with people is to help them find ways that work with their personality. So what we would do is we would sit down and talk about your personality and what works for you and what you're able to do and what you're able to do without a whole lot of effort. There's always some effort. But the harder it is for you to accomplish a thing, the less likely you are going to be to make good money in your sleep after you've done it, because it might take you so long, or it might take whatever fill in the blank reason that you might never get it done. Okay. So So what are some ways that, so if you've got some ways that you have made money in your sleep, I want you to drop them in the comments, because when I was getting out of debt, I'll be honest with you, when I was getting out of debt, I didn't make a whole lot. I didn't get a whole lot of midnight money. I didn't get a whole lot of mailbox money. I did a lot of hustling on the ground, boots on the ground, to generate the seed money to do the things that make the money in my sleep. Okay. And to pay down the debt. So I hope those have given you some good ideas. And if you want to drop in either another question, or if you want to drop in a comment live, if you're watching live still, then we could certainly go and do that. Okay. And talk about it a little bit more. But the easiest ways to make money in your sleep is to provide something people are willing to buy without you having to be there. Okay. And so whether that's a class, whether that's a book, whether that's a PDF, whether that's a handout, you want to find something that people can buy and they're motivated to buy without you having to be over their shoulder, or without you having to explain it. And I'm going to say this kind of a different way. You want to make sure it's actually easy for people to buy. You want to make sure it's something they can buy without you having to hold their hands. Some of you have heard this story before, but I'm going to tell it again because I think it illustrates the point really well. One time I did a refresh on my website. I had a website that was money making. People would book classes and coaching while I slept, and then I'd wake up in the morning and deliver the coaching whenever they scheduled it, or help them whatever the classes might be. That was great. But then I worked a job where I had to stop the business. I could do nonprofit, but I couldn't do business anymore. So I shut down the business part of my website. And when I moved to a job that allowed me to have business again, by then some things about what I offered had changed, or what I wanted to offer changed. So we redid the whole website. And I wasn't getting any orders. And I was really surprised, because I was like, I built up such a huge nonprofit following in that year. And I really expected that it was going to be amazing, right? Like I just knew it was going to be amazing. And I had these clients in my office one time. I had these clients in my office one time. And Linda, I'm going to get to your question real quick, because you are a blessing. And I know you're going to do so well with this. So I have them in my office. I'm already blowing the interview, like, right, like I'm already offending these people, because I'm recommending that they fill out their paperwork for VA disability and all this stuff that was really an offense to them, but it actually would have helped them out a lot. And and so then I said, well, if you change your mind, if you think about some of the things and you want me to help you with some of these, here's how to do it. So I take them to my website and I click the book now button, and I'm clicking and I'm clicking and I'm clicking and I'm clicking. And I'm just like, I was so embarrassed. I made it difficult for anybody to give me money, not just these people who already made up their minds they were not going to get coaching with me, right? I made it difficult for anybody to get money. It was no wonder I wasn't making any sales, okay? So that's the first example I'm going to give you of something not to do. An example I'm going to give you of something to do. It's the new thing, right? Everybody's talking about niches or riches and really nailing down who you want to serve. But that actually isn't a new concept, okay? Because when the internet first came out, and I was one of the first people to have a web host and web design company, right? And so I don't know of many other women of color who had one at that time, back in 98, 99, right? I had a web host company, Jasper Web Host, and I built a lot of business web pages for people. And one of the things that I do when I'm in something like that is I do all my research so I can be at the top of my game. And so what I discovered was in that research is that a lot of people online were making big money without even having a whole lot to offer people. They were putting together niche pages, what they called microsites. So it was basically one long form page. And by long form, I mean it told a long story or something. And they would really neck it down. So if you were having tooth pain and you were having, trying to think of some examples. I know that there was quite a few of the guys who did like dental things. They did dental things. If you were having bad breath and it was making you lack confidence at work, like they were necking it down really niche, so that when you type it in, that's all the page. That's the only page that comes up in the search. I don't think it was Google back then, but whatever the search was. Okay. And so I just interviewed somebody. I just interviewed Eric Serobian for Building Wealth Together podcast. And I'm going to post this episode soon, but we were editing and he's like, yeah, it's what you want to do. They call it hyper local now. Right. And so what these guys did is they hyper focused what their page was. And after they described the problem, antagonized the problem, and made you feel like you don't know who else understands your problem, then they had something to sell you that solved the problem. Where did they get that from? Well, they maybe either made it themselves, or a lot of these guys went to what's called PLR, published license rights. These are pre-made content that you can grab and rebrand it with you and post it out as yours. Like the author of it has given you that permission to just go out and do it. And that's how these guys were making thousands of dollars a month in their sleep. Okay. So you want to have something that people can buy without you having to be there, or you want to put your money to work for you in an investment that's also making money. Because every time we talk about money in our sleep, we always think about something like I have an online website or online classes or something like that. But I want to encourage you, maybe the market goes up and down day to day, month to month, but over time, the market's putting out enough money. You really are making money when you're invested, especially if you play the long game. Okay. Fantastic question. All right. I'm going to bring up Linda's question here really quick. Not only because she says my courses are so helpful and I love positive feedback, but she says she has courses ready to go and she loves how I have mine set up. What's the best platform to do that? Okay. So the problem with answering the question, I'm going to leave this up for a second. The problem with answering what's the best platform is I'm not 100% sure I know the best platform. I have a good platform. I'm on Teachable. And if y'all are going to go out and get Teachable, please PM me so I can give you my affiliate code, because anybody that signs up under me under Teachable, they give me like $20. And you think that's not much, but when you have hundreds of people watching your stuff, that could add up, right? Like that's a new outfit and I really like to shop. Plus I moved to Texas. I need to go get me some cowboy boots. And I discovered they are not cheap, y'all. Woo! Okay. Anyway, all joking aside. I'm on Teachable. I am also playing around with Thinkific, which is what another friend is doing, is Thinkific. There are other platforms out there if you don't already have a mailing list or anything that are maybe a lot more fully featured, like Kajabi. I have a lot of friends who are on Kajabi and they love it. It's an all-in-one system. Teachable kind of is, but it's not as flexible as Kajabi, and it definitely doesn't have all the features, but it also is half the price. Okay. And so the right platform is going to be a balance of your price and the features and what you need and what you don't need. Okay. And so Teachable used to have a free program. So I used to always recommend people start there. They got bought out and they no longer have the free version. So I'm actually testing out Thinkific, which seems to work very similarly. Okay. And so there's also Maestro. For those of you who want to support minority businesses, there's also Maestro. I think I've seen people use one called Kartra. I've used it. I've not used it. I've used it as a student, not as a instructor, and I don't get the sense that it has the features that I like. But one of the things that I like both about Teachable and the Thinkific, if you upgrade, is that you can drip the content, you can send emails to your students, you can set it so that they have different emails that go to them. So we did this for Authentic Abundance, we did it for Self-Image Rising, and I don't think I did it for last year's Think and Grow Rich, but we are setting up this year's Think and Grow Rich this way, which starts in September, y'all. So make sure you get your ticket before the price goes up. So I've got it set up that every day, Authentic Abundance, every day it sends you an email. It sends you either a meme with my smiling face and a thought for the day to be a journal prompt for you, or it sends you a link to the lesson that was taught. Okay. And so I love that feature. I love that you can have certificates. I love that you can do quizzes. I don't know. Let me just open it. In fact, I'm going to show you guys this real quick. I'm going to show you this. Let me see if I can share I know I can. Let me see if I can do it quickly without acting crazy here. Let me go into my screen. I will show you guys this real quick. Okay. all courses. And let me go into, all right, share screen. I know I should have another monitor and I don't. I need to. Window. Chrome tab. Building wealth together. Okay. All right. Oops, because I'm logged in. Give me the home page. Oh, it's on courses. Okay. So you guys should be seeing right now on my home page. It says stop working so hard with nothing to show for it. So this is Teachable. This is my Teachable page. And it lets me, it does some great things. Now one thing that Kajabi does better that is this kind of thing where you can create your own landing pages. It's smoother and easier. Okay. But I have it set up to have my little welcome video, and this is the link to the Ask JJ form, and then I've got my top 6 classes down here that you can do, and you can customize how many classes it shows. You can customize the bar at the top. You can add whatever links you want. So this goes to my personal web page. This goes to the podcast page. So I'm showing you that it goes to the podcast page, and this one goes to the Ask JJ form. Okay. So all of these things you can customize to how you want it. And then you can even customize what people see when they log in or what they don't. Okay. I'm going to also show you, let me show this. I hope I remember my actual thing. I don't remember my name. I think it's Pastor Conway. Let me sign in. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. So I had the Pastor Conway. Oh, that's something else I want to show you. Oops. Sorry, Camille. I didn't mean to blast you like that. Okay, so you know what? Since I already did, Camille is going to be teaching Think and Grow Rich with me this year. So, oh wait, you guys on Thinkific? Are you guys on Thinkific or are you on? Oh, you guys aren't seeing Camille. Okay, wait, what are you guys seeing? Okay, so it's only showing the tab. Oh, okay. All right. Let me go back to Teachable. I'm going to show you guys something about Teachable real quick. And for those of you who are waiting for your questions, I promise I'm going to get to them, but this is actually kind of cool. Okay. So let me go into, let me close that. And then I'm going to come over here and show you guys this tab. And then we're going to have Thinkific up here. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay. Let me share that again. Sorry about that. I'm going to show you this with, thing. You can have multiple schools. That's one of the things that I like about both of these. I have not experimented on it with, Thinkific yet because I'm just trying to set up the one. Okay. So this is my main Teachable page. And you can see I had the Pastor Conway page here. It used to be free. That was our church in the Pierre Bossier Mall. I've got the Building Wealth Together. I've got the Pastor JJ Conway. And then I had the Philly Bob PK, which is where my son actually made a class. And it didn't work out well because he just did not have the heart for it. So I took his little class that he made, and I'm trying to go admin so I can show you something, but it's being slow and ornery. So let me just go back because it wants me to do the admin terms. I shouldn't have clicked that. All right. It's not going. All right. So these are the different schools that I had. When I had a free account, this was great. You can create different schools. Each school can have its own personality. Okay. This is where I had a lot of my teachings. This is where I had my money teaching. And so we had them all separated. When you go into Teachable, I had no sales this month because I took wait, let's go back. That's not what I wanted to show you guys. I'm so embarrassed now. Okay. So when you go into the classes, okay, you can have as many as you want. And I've got, 4 pages of classes here. I am going to I'm going to show you. Yeah, I didn't make much money this month, as you can see in the numbers there, but this summer, because I totally didn't promote much of my stuff. Okay. So when you go in, you can actually add the information for your class, and you can add the pictures, you can add videos, and then you can set whatever price you want. And I actually made this class about Teachable. The problem with this class about Teachable is it talks about the free things. But if you guys are interested in this class, reach out to me, and I'll give you access to this class, and you can play around with Teachable. All right, I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go back to Thinkific. Uh-oh. Did you guys not see that? Oh, no. You guys didn't see what I just showed you? Here I was feeling all embarrassed. Okay, something is not right. Okay, I'm doing something wrong with my share. Let me take a look at this real quick. Okay. Let me go back here, because I was all embarrassed. Like, you're going to look at my classes and see how little money I made this month and be like, wow, she's not making a whole lot of money in her sleep. Well, you have to promote your stuff. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up, and then I'll reshare it. And then when I first did it, I had Camille's profile up because she's gonna teach with me. Let me stop that screen and let me share. Oh, I know what I was doing wrong. Okay, I was sharing the tab, not the window. So now I'm sharing the window. Now you guys should be able to see the admin screen for my Teachable page. I'm going to show you the admin screen for Thinkific, but don't y'all clown my Thinkific, okay? Because that's not a profit site. Okay? So, all right. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, Linda, just let me take that comment down real quick. Wait, let me show this one. I'm awesome. Wait. Let me this is so self-serving. I'm awesome. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. If you let me go back. No, big one. Okay, there we go. Actually, you guys can just see the whole thing. Okay, so all right, so this time, now let me see if I go back and forth. Now you should see Thinkific, and now you should see Teachable. Okay, so what I did before is I only shared a tab in StreamYard instead of sharing the whole window. All right, so this is the how I made big money with Teachable. And the whole point of this class was to encourage people to get started. Okay. So when you go into a platform like Teachable, you're able to add your titles, you're able to pick an author. I made the mistake with Camille thinking I could add her as an author and like split it 50-50, but it only lets you have one author. And so that's something I'm hoping that Thinkific will be able to fix for me. But again, I haven't played around with it enough to see. But you can set, like if I was to make this class again, I would never make such a long URL, but I made this class a while ago. So I didn't know that back then, right? You can add a picture, you can add a welcome video if you want. Okay. And then the really cool thing about this is you can design multiple landing pages, sales pages for people. So let me preview this one so that you can see what it looks like when you go out there on the thing, right? Yeah, I got to change that because it's not free anymore, right? And this is the thing, like I put here, want to learn how to make impact in your workout gear from a coffee shop. Did I do that? Yes. How many people remember me at the retro? How many people remember me at the retro coffee shop making all those podcasts, filming all those things? Man, I would get in that booth and close that curtain, and we would make videos and we would go. And I'd have my mic so it would drown out the coffee shop mess. Not mess. I didn't mean to say it that way. The noise, Yes, you can absolutely do that, right? So these are things that I actually did. Do you want to make money in your pajamas on your couch? How many times have I taught a class? in pajamas on my couch with a baby nursing in your lap. How many times? Yeah, those of you who used to come to my in-person classes, y'all know I was not shy about putting that poncho on, popping that baby on, and continuing to teach, because we had to get stuff done, but I was also going to be mom. Remember, we built our empire around our family, not to spite them. And so, these are things that I wrote in here because they were true in my life and I knew that I did it. Okay. And so, stop throwing money at get rich quick schemes and learn from someone who's been there, done that. And so what I did was I did a video. I'm probably going to add this, just like with the writing class. I'm probably going to add my going through this with you guys so that you can see how to do it. But let's say that this page was okay, but I'm going to talk now to a different demographic. Like let's say, when I'm done answering questions, if you guys want to, we could do one of these on the fly and I could show you how to actually do it other than just talking through it. But let's say I was going to go talk to leaders at a particular company. No, not a company, because they want to have people do it. Let's go say I was going to go talk to an urban chamber group. And these are all young people who have a hustle and they want to do something different with their lives, right? I would want to change that, because that page was written to moms. That page was written to moms like I was 5 years ago with the baby nursing on my lap, but I still wanted to make a change in my life, right? And so if I wanted to redo this, but I didn't want to lose all my hard work, I could go in here to add new sales page and I could create a whole new version that's tailored to the urban chamber group. Okay. And so then you go into your curriculum and you can put in, when the system decides it wants to work, you can put in all of your lessons. There you go. This one doesn't have as many lessons as some of my others, like Authentic Abundance. It's a 70 lesson course because it's got the daily drops. But here you've got the audio. Okay. You've got the audio lesson and you have the video lesson. Okay. Oh, oops. Sorry. That's the code. Okay. So here's another thing. Hold on. Let me go back. So here I've put in code that takes you to my Vimeo page, right? Over here, you might have noticed that I actually uploaded in this MP3, I actually uploaded it here. I no longer do that. I now upload everything to Vimeo or to SoundCloud, and then I drop the code in here. It's very easy to do. I'm making it sound more complicated than it is, but you simply just go to the you go to Vimeo or you go to SoundCloud, you grab the embed code and you grab it and you pop it in there and you hit save. And then you hit publish so people can see it. Okay. But there it is. People can play the webinar. All right. And I do that because, let me explain that a little bit. The reason I use SoundCloud and Vimeo now is because I don't want to just have people play stuff and I don't know if they're playing it. Like Teachable has a thing where they will do some analysis on the videos for you, but I have no way of knowing who played any of the sounds. I have no way of knowing, where they dropped off in the video. It might tell me how much of the video was played, but Vimeo, if you upgrade your account on Vimeo and you store all your stuff on Vimeo, it gives you the outline minute by minute of how many people were on. That's how I discovered people were always dropping off during my rabbit trails when I would get on these long rants about something that didn't have to do with money. That's why most of my classes, not this one, but most of my classes have a script, because Vimeo was showing me every time I got off script, I would lose people and I would lose them. I'd lose them gone, y'all. Okay. So that's Teachable. That's Teachable. You go in here and they have this new templates thing. They have this new templates thing that you can use to kind of do a quick design on your page. They have the new templates to help you, design how it was. I feel like it may be a competition with Thinkific, because this one over here is the classic, but these other ones are like similar to other platforms. You can set your pricing. And this is a new feature that I like. So you can see here, I have set the pricing, and I have set you can change your pricing at any time. These are pricings that I got rid of. So when we had the pandemic, I went in. I mean, I know we're still kind of under a pandemic, but I mean, it's been a year now and people need to eat like my family, right? So But when we were in the throes of it, I went in and made almost every class free, right? So you can go back and set your pricings. And I love this new feature, the order bumps. I'm not going to do it today, but what you can do is you can add a little tag on that helps entice people to buy more stuff. And then drip is a favorite one. Of course, I don't have drip for this because it's only a 3 lesson class. But in drip, you can set the people get the email this day and the people get an email that day and they get access to this lesson this day. So you can set up your whole class. Let me get it back on me. Oh, it's been on me this whole time. I'm so sorry. All right, I'll go back and do it. This is the drip where you can set a schedule. So I can say, okay, when you sign up for the class, you're going to get this class either right away, or I can make it 7 days away, or whatever I want to make it, right? We're not gonna activate that one. You can also set it up. Maybe I want to let them have it 0 days, and then maybe over here I want to let them have it after 7 days, so they don't get the bonus things. Or if I want to do it by a particular day, so if I'm running a live class, then I'm also having drops, then I can coordinate the drops with when I'm going to teach that night. Okay. And so let me go back up and show you these other things. Did you guys see the curriculum? Did you see curriculum? Curriculum, these are the different lessons. Did you guys see my discussion of my Vimeo page? Did you not Vimeo page? I didn't show you my Vimeo page because I don't want to crack that open today. But did you guys see this page and the code that went behind it? Did you guys see that? Okay, good. All right. So Linda's saying yes, you guys did. Okay. Did you guys see the design? Well, whether or not, I'm going to show you. These are the design templates that you can use for the layout of your class. This is the layout of mine. So if you go in to the class, okay, let me go back to curriculum and let me go to preview. Come on, come on. Give me some preview. Wow, this is really slow. And I've got the internet plugged in today. I hope he's not on his Xbox when I'm teaching. All right. Preview. You can see this is the traditional view. It's got the course curriculum. They have information about me if they want it. They can just click and go, whatever they want to get. Okay. So it's a very powerful thing. Let me see. I think you probably didn't see the pricing. Pricing has the pricing plans. And then if I ever create a plan and delete it, I can go back to it and edit it or re-add it. Okay. Okay. So there's that. And we talked about drip. I think you guys saw that when I realized that you couldn't see anything. So those are the main ones. So let me go into Thinkific real quick and show you guys this real quick. And again, I'm not experienced with this one yet, but I like to find ways that people can start for free. Okay. And so I oh my goodness, obviously it's been a little while because I haven't done anything with it all summer. Let me go in here and come on. Where's the courses? Uh oh goodness, courses. There we go. So this is Thinkific. The reason I'm playing around with it is they have a free version. And as a financial planner, I like to have people have an opportunity to start with something free. What I don't like is when people train people that while that's loading up, what I don't like is when people say, oh, you got to go big or go home, spend $3,000 on this platform, and then you'll make more money. You'll make more money. And I'm like, but you don't even know if your idea is going to work yet. You don't even know if it's going to work yet. And so I don't want you spending 3,000. I mean, unless you are a multimillionaire, I don't want you dropping $3,000 on something and you don't know that the concept is going to work for you yet. Okay. I want you to be able to test run it with money that either money that you can afford to lose or for free. Okay. And so this is a very similar builder. Okay. These are the lessons. These are the lessons, and you can see this is showing you the video, but if anybody recognizes the different platforms, you can see that this is an embed from Vimeo. So it's the same concept. Okay. Because Vimeo allows me to see if you guys are actually watching them. Okay. So I put all of them in here, all the lessons in here. And it's a very, very similar concept. And so all course lessons. Okay. And so this is the one that I'm using for my church. And so you can see the outline here, what the student will see. And it's important to see what the student will see because sometimes it's a little different from what you see. Okay, so those are the ones that I have familiarity with. I actually tried Maestro for a little bit. I liked it. I really, really did like it. But when it came to the cost, it wasn't any cheaper than what I was already doing. And for where I want to go, it actually didn't give me enough schools because eventually I'm going to have the Pastor Conway and I'm going to have my Building Wealth Together, and I'm going to split out the real estate, and I'm going to split out the Empowered Technical Leaders, and all those different things are going to be their own school. And I want to make room for my kids, and Maestro gives you up to 5. And so until they changed that, it just wasn't worth the price for me to switch, but it was actually a really nice platform and really nice support staff. So I want to give them a little bit of shout out. All right. Okay, well, that was a lot more on that than I intended to give. I hope y'all liked that little tour. And I'm really glad now that I accidentally forgot to put the screen on so that you couldn't see what I was broadcasting all of Camille's business there. Y'all didn't see that because I'm making her an instructor in the Think and Grow Rich class. So, all right, let me go back and take a look and see if we have any more questions, but I think that was all we had today. There was one that somebody gave me verbally, and I had absolutely every intention of answering that question. And I even remember, I was proud of myself, y'all. I remembered it like 2 hours ago. I said, oh, I'm going to ask this question. And I remember it occurred to me, you should go and you should add it to your list. I'm like, oh, no, I'll remember it. It was a good, juicy question. Yeah, I have no idea what they asked. I'm so sorry. If that was you, I am sorry. Please go into the Ask JJ and put your question in so that I can make sure that we cover it for you. Okay. Let's see. If there's no other questions, I think we're gonna roll it for today. I'm gonna give people about a 10-second drawdown to ask their questions. And I'm gonna do that. Well, here's an amazing thing about Teachable that I just discovered. If you can get it to work, and I haven't reached out to the help desk to figure it out. If I set somebody up as an author in my Teachable platform, they can create a course on my platform, and I can assign them how much percentage of the profits. Now, of course, if I did that, I would always want somebody to actually like give me a cut so I can cover my hosting and my Teachable fees, right? But I thought, wow, this whole time I've had Teachable since 2019, 2018, and I had no idea. Now, on this point that Linda's bringing up here, if you have a class that you would like to create and you have all of your creative stuff already ready, so you've got your banners that you would want to use, you have your background graphics, you have your copy where I can just cut and paste it, and you have all of your videos and audio loaded to something like Vimeo or SoundCloud, or you're willing to give me access to upload them to mine, one of the things that I would like to do is to re-record the Teachable class. Y'all saw how old that class was, right? I need to rebuild it, but I really don't want to rebuild it with my content because financial planner content gets stolen all the time. So I don't want to create it with my content. I would like to help somebody else build their class, as long as you're willing to let me do it as a workshop where everybody can see the good, the bad, and the ugly. I will be willing to do that. And in fact, next month, we're going to do Ioana. Her last name is escaping me. Macris, I think it is. She's from Greece, and we did a fabulous podcast episode. I can't wait to air it for you. But I told her when we were done interviewing, I was like, you do realize you can take this interview and you've already got a 5-part mini course. And she said, really? And I said, yes. She said, oh, but I was just practicing. I was like, well, you were just practicing, but the content was so good in the moment. I can take this and I can split it up, and I'll show you how to do it if you'll let me do it in public so it can be a class for my students. And she agreed. So we're going to do that next month. And then if somebody else watching today has their content ready and they want to see how I build a course, we'll go through it together. And in fact, maybe we'll do it in both because I haven't done, clearly y'all saw today. I'm not experienced with the Thinkific. We can do it in both and everybody can kind of see it. And that'll be a replacement for my big money with online courses. So instead of being a big money and Teachable, it'll be big money with online courses. And then I can give you like a cost split of however we can work those details out. But I want to use somebody else's content because I think it's A, going to give greater engagement, and B, I kind of teach the same stuff over and over. So I really don't want to show you guys how the sausage is made on that. Is that selfish? Yeah, it's a little bit selfish. But you know what? I feel like it's okay for me to be a little selfish as long as I'm being honest about the fact that I'm being selfish. Is that all right? Is that fair enough? Because you know, at the end of the day, we're all pretty selfish. And a lot of times when we're not, and this is going to sound bad, but a lot of times when we're not, like back in the day when I wasn't selfish and I was really altruistic, people thought I was selfish anyway. They really did. And I'm just kind of jabbering now. We're not going to answer any more questions unless somebody drops one in the chat in the next 30 seconds. But, people used to think I really felt so horrible about myself that I was willing to do anything nice for you because anytime that I did something to help somebody else, it made me feel better about me. And the sad part was that so many people thought I was so arrogant and they thought I was so full of myself and that I just thought I was God's greatest gift to the earth. And actually the opposite was true. I felt like the worst human being on earth. I felt like I didn't deserve to breathe the air around me. That's how horrible I felt about myself when I was in college and when I entered young adulthood. And I would help everybody. I would help everybody, even to the hurting of myself, because it was an attempt. And I didn't know this at the time. I just thought I was a good person. And I am a good person. I'm a great person. I will help you if I can. But I now know that what was driving me to help people so much, even when it hurt my family, for me to help others, was because I was hurting and I was trying to erase that hurt by erasing somebody else's hurt and somebody else's pain. And only when I learned how to address my own hurt and address my own pain and really rest in the promises that God gave me, that I am his daughter and that he loved me so much that he gave his only begotten son. I'm not going to get to preaching, but I'm telling you, this is what changed my life. Understanding that I had value, not because of what I did for people and not because of how much money I made, but I had value because I was a daughter of the king. That changed my life. All right, y'all. On that happy note, we're gonna end this right here today. But yes, if you want to participate next month, please do bring a friend, 2 or 3 or 4. I would greatly appreciate it. And now I'm gonna go spend some time with Mr. Man, y'all. Y'all take care and be blessed.